Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah. Okay. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Excited to excited to be on this call today. We've had a lot of action happening at Leap right now, and a lot of new partners being added. But this is one that we're really excited about today. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the relationship that we've had with Dividend, how we've got here, who they are, what they do, what that means to you guys. Basically going through the full gamut of partnership announcement, all the fun stuff. So we're going to get this thing kicked off in just a minute or so. I've got Paul Watson on the line. He's the VP of Business Development over at Dividend. Paul, give us a quick shout out.
Howdy.
Nice. Welcome, man. Excited to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Excited about the call.
Yeah, we're pumped. So we'll get into everything in just a second, you guys. Well, as always, if you've attended these things in the past, one of the things that we really like to do, the more interactive these things are, the better they are. Again, you're taking time out of your day. We want to make sure that you guys get what you need. In that question section, or everybody on their screen should have the little GoToWebinar control panel. On your screen, there's a section in there that says questions, all right? We're going to be looking at this thing throughout. So if there's something you specifically want us to be covering, you got to make sure to drop that in that question section, all right? If you don't do that, unfortunately, it's really difficult for us to answer any of those unknowns. But guess what? They are just that. They are unknown. So do us a favor, get used to how to use this. Drop in there where you're joining from, maybe throw in your first name, give a shout out, high fives, all that good stuff. And then we'll get this thing started in about a minute. So in that question section, do us a favor and add where you're joining from today. All right. Yeah, San Diego, home sweet home for me. Alex, good to have you on, man. Wisconsin, I love it. Stanford, Connecticut, a fellow Northeaster. So we at the Leap team are joining from kind of that DC, Baltimore area. I've got Michelle, our marketing manager, on the line with us as well. She'll be helping answering some of these questions. Miami, it's hot as hell there right now, but I love me some South Florida. Eric, thanks for joining from Fairbanks Construction. Excited to have you on. Paul has said a lot of really good things about you guys. So pretty pumped to work with you. All right, cool. So here's what we want to do. We're going to get this thing cracking. So first things first, we're going to drop in a quick poll. What this is going to allow us to do is this is going to allow us just at a high level to understand who's on the call today. Let us know if you're currently using Dividend, if you're using Leap, if you use both, or if you're like, who the hell are these guys? How did I get here today? It's all good. Let us know where you're coming from. This will really give us a good understanding of how to cater some of the messaging today. God, this is like one of the liveliest crowds. We've got like 81% already voted. That is 19%. Come on. Oh, 88. If we got 100%, I would be blown away. Like blown away. At least break 90. 2%. Come on. Oh, there we go. I feel good about this. I'll leave this open for about another 10 seconds. If we can beat 90, we're at 94% right now. A little bit more. Come on. Woo-hoo! Solid. All right. We got 100%. That has never happened. I'm thoroughly excited about you people being on the call today. You're a good audience. We love it. So, all right, let's get this thing rocking. Again, feel free as we go through this, drop your questions in the question section. Would love if you guys tell us what are some of the main things that you want covered, and we'll make sure that we get to those. If we don't get to those during the presentation, there's a dedicated Q&A section at the end. Perfect segue into today's agenda. So we're going to talk a little bit about partnerships here at Leap. I know if you've attended these things before, which some of you have, we'll tell you where we get our partnerships from and why we end up partnering with certain people. All right. From there, I'm going to introduce Paul. Paul's going to tell you all about Dividend, give you a background of him professionally. Because honestly, guys, he's got a really cool story himself. Plus, he's going to tell you a little bit about the company, where Dividend came from, how long they've been around, what are some of the core functions of their products, and why they're such a benefit to business owners like yourself. We'll then talk a little bit about how Leap works and take a look at that integration. Again, there's some neat things that we've built with the Dividend teams that are different from some of our other financing partners. And again, these guys have gone above and beyond. It's really exciting to see what we have. Lastly, we'll open it up to those next steps in that Q&A. So moving along, the partnerships, all right? Again, we're super excited to have this partnership with Dividend. It's a really neat arena, especially coming into the sustainability, clean energy, solar, really neat market. Me as a Californian at heart, it speaks very, very strong to me. My house growing up was covered in solar panels. My parents even enjoyed getting their check from the state of California saying, hey, thanks for contributing back to the grid. So it's a really cool topic, something that I'm very interested in. Very cool stuff. So the first thing we want to talk about too is why we choose partners, or who do we partner with. At the end of the day, guess what, you guys? We turn a lot of people away. There's a lot of folks out there who are like, let's partner. We love you guys. We want access to your customers. Yeah, I bet you do. You know, our customers are really strong, really technical, have a very solid understanding of where this market is going. But that doesn't mean that everybody else has your best interest in mind. So what we do anytime when we're approached by an organization, we vet them. And we make sure that they are doing nothing other than adding value to the network, making your lives easier. If they do anything other than that, we show them the door real quick. And it's not that we do that in being a jerk or an a-hole or something like that. It's more or less us just really ensuring that we protect our customers. If it doesn't make your life easier, guess what? It makes your life more difficult. We're not in that business, not even remotely close. So that also brings us to financing companies. Like, why would a point of sales tool partner with a finance company? All right. If you've been on any webinar that we've put out over the last 6 months, right, Michelle? Yeah, 6 months. We've done a hell of a lot on this concept of controlling the end-to-end funnel for your customers. So it's not just when you generate the lead. If you look on the left-hand side, it's not just when you generate the lead at a marketing level or when you qualify it in a call center. This sales process is so unique in your entire funnel. You have to make sure that every single one of the steps that you see on the screen under that sales section, the estimates, proposals, contracts, financing, all of those are being addressed. And you have to make sure that all of that is airtight. Because if not, you're absolutely killing one of the most important things, and it boils down to momentum. Sales is about momentum. You're generating that when you first walk in the door and introduce yourself. It's a trust exercise. Trust always ultimately equates to momentum. If they trust you, game on. It's a title surge. It's awesome. You're not going to stop it. However, you introduce kinks into the process, you introduce complexities, or even something as simple as having to fill out data like their name, address, and phone. You have to fill that crap out multiple times. Guess what? They're going to find something to do. Oh, hey, I got to go put the kids to bed. Oh, hey, I got to go make dinner. Oh, hey, I got to go check on this one thing. Oh, I got to send this email. Guess what? The second they tune out from what they're doing with your reps, it's an opening to lose the sale, period. The better integrated that you can be, especially with a financing partner, that is the scariest part of the entire process. How the hell are you going to pay for this, right? And I don't know about any of you, when it comes to like buying anything and it involves running your credit, no one likes that. Whether you have an 800 plus score or whether you have crap credit, it always sucks. No one looks forward to that. Yeah, run my credit, go for it. If you can make that as painless and seamless as possible and make it in real time, oh my God, it just takes the fear out of the entire sales process. So let's talk about Dividend, all right? Again, we have other partners, but why the hell did we partner with Dividend specifically? All right, you look at where this market is going. You look at where our country or where the world is going. It's sustainability. It's clean energy. It's going to be a huge part of our industry moving forward. All right, in order to really work and grow with other organizations too, if you look at bullet point number 2, they have to be technically savvy. All right, Dividend personifies technically savvy. So much of what they do is unique because of their inherent love for technology being paired in all aspects of this lending process. And the other thing you look at too is the way they treat their customers. It's the way they treat their customers is white glove. It is posh. It is very much that high touch, really designed to make everybody feel the love. Like they really truly care about everyone that's on board with them. And then lastly, we see this as a great opportunity for both organizations to not just grow individually, but grow together. There's a lot of cool stuff that can come from this. All right. So I've talked a little bit about Dividend. I've told you a little bit about why we partnered with them and what it means to us, but we got to know about who they are. So I'm going to pass it over to Paul. Paul and I have been going back and forth for a while. He'll elaborate on the story. Paul's a cool guy, really has a tremendous amount of experience in this industry as well as in the tech world at large. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself professionally and then give us a really clear deep dive on who Dividend is and how they're going to help you guys. So, Paul, without further ado, I'm going to shut up, pass it over to you. You tell us a little bit about yourself and Dividend. I'll drive I'll be the nerd running the projector.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, James. Appreciate that. You totally made me blush. And then, sorry, I'm right outside the office, and we do have an air base in San Diego very close to us. So occasionally you might hear that jet flying through there and me watching it envious as it's flying by the sky. But, man, this is, like James said, this has been an ongoing partnership discussion, and we're really, really excited about the partnership. One, just because LEAP really pays attention to technology, process, and most importantly, people. And that's what it's all about. It's really delivering the best technology and the solutions where technology can be delivered and supplementing human interaction with that. And that's what we really liked about it. I mean, my background, I'm a tech guy. I've loved tech since I, first started taking apart little devices back in the days in the Commodore 64. So I'm kind of actually dating myself on tech a little bit, but this partnership's been exciting.
That was like the best console ever, man.
Oh man, dude, it was back in the days, and I was a big Atari fan back in the days, and Donkey Kong and Pitfall, but anyways, as we digress. My background is I came from the engineering and finance side. Didn't like engineering as much, so really became more of a financial engineer. Got involved in tech in an early stage, right in the late 200s when the tech bubble exploded, and I went in and helped a lot of tech companies on behalf of venture capitalists to respin and reposition their companies and try to make something out of it. Fast forward, spent about 5 years doing corporate M&A in China, buying and selling companies to really grow them. And then when I moved back to the U.S., I really got in helping startups. So, that's what I really like to do, build and grow, identify ways to scale and really change process to optimize profitability and grow the company in sustainable ways. That being said, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I've been a closet tree hugger for most of my life. So I'm really excited that this whole push towards clean energy is coming out because I've been able to come out of the closet with my proclivities towards the industry. So this really is exciting because all of us are right here at a renewable energy revolution where people are starting to look at energy efficiency in a new way, home improvements in a new way, and absolutely, generating electricity on your roof in a big way. And that's where, Dividend his came into the scene. I joined Dividend in 2016 at a really great time, a pivotal time with the growth. I mean, we were doing less than 100 million in volume, and then we're about to hit $1 billion this year in just 3 years. So it's been tremendous growth. And what I really liked about Dividend is they looked at the market in late 2013 and they saw an opportunity. They saw an opportunity for a market that really didn't have structured loan programs for the industry. It was really big. It was very much a third-party ownership. And so we came into this world really giving homeowners a solution to take advantage of the tax credit and to really take ownership of developing electricity through solar panels on the roof. And as we really scaled that market, and grew. We saw an increased marriage between home improvement, energy efficiency, everything from HVACs to, getting a new roof at that time. So we really saw this market start to come together. So in 2016, we started to launch our home improvement line. And that's where we really started to look at the market in a way to leverage partnerships that had deep experience in this field. And that's right about the time whenever I engaged with James and really started to explore this partnership and really loved it how they leverage technology. Now, going back to our lending products, we do have the solar, we have the home improvement, and we also do CPACE, which is property assessed clean energy. So you can go ahead and move to the next slide, James. About the process, why did this marriage really make a lot of sense for us? Because, one of the things at Dividend that we're extremely focused on is the hands-on high touch. We really came at the market as a business in a box solution. We wanted to give, not a lot of people had all the CRM, the processes and everything lined up, a lot of the sales and marketing material. So that's what we delivered for them. We gave this feature set to them at their fingertips. Another thing that we really focused on was the ratio. We noticed a lot of the other finance partners, they'd have 200 to 300 contractors or 100 to 200 contractors per each sales rep that they would have on the finance team. We were more like about 20 to 30 to 50 max. So that allowed us to really engage with our contractor base to understand their business, understand ways that we can go beyond just being a lender and be an extension of their sales and marketing team, be an extension of their, their process and optimization. We understood early on, and this was a lot of, my experience that I brought on was really growing companies and then hiring people that understood the business and the operations to be an extension of their growth and to really take an active way in their growth, because if we help them grow, we're going to get more loans from them, and that theory actually worked out. So when we identified, it must have been, last October, James, when we first met each other.
I think so.
This was really in an exploratory process to understand, okay, what does Leap do? What value do they add? What synergies do we see with this partnership? And we understood very, very early on that there was a tremendous amount of value, because Leap was built by people knocking on doors, understanding the process. They built this process. I might be wrong on the years, but 7 to 8 years of really understanding the nuances of what you experience at the door. I knocked on doors in the late 90s selling ADT security systems. So to understand what the contractors are going through, from the sales to, submitting the final paperwork to get funded, was a real important feature. So and that's really why we wanted to partner with Leap. We saw that they put a lot of attention into it. So we started to explore the partnership, look at synergies, and really like the fact that, we can integrate with the partners, focus on process and people, and really get a solution that can quickly address what is happening at the door to scale your growth, and give you those tools and give them that experience. And so, we're extremely excited about this partnership. It allows you to maintain that momentum, really grow and scale your business. And we're excited to see what we can do with this. And so thanks again, James. I appreciate the partnership and giving this opportunity in this platform.
Yeah, man. Again, we're pumped as well. So we'll keep going through this. We got a couple questions coming in. We'll get to those in the Q&A section. Nick, I saw your question, so no, it's on its way. So let's talk a little bit about the integration and how Leap works, because I know there's some folks on the call who don't use Leap and are not familiar with it. We'll give you a high-level understanding of exactly how the tool works. Again, this is going to be a little bit cryptic, a little bit 30,000-foot view. If you guys really want the opportunity to dive in and see all the nuances of this, which, again, it's about 45 minutes to go through the actual demo of the app, it's worth every second. Reason being is at the end of it, or within about 5 seconds, you'll know, should I or should I not use this? The reality is pretty much everyone does love it. So Going to say that, obviously I'm a little bit biased, but it's pretty powerful, and that's one of the reasons why
we love it.
Yeah, high five. High five. All right, sweet. So let's talk a little bit about this at a high level. I'm going to walk you through really what that standard matriculation is in that lead pipeline, going back to that original slide. So first thing that we do is we integrate with CRMs. Why? We got to be able to bring that data from that marketing funnel, from the CRM where it's being managed. We have to get that in the hands of the sales reps. If they don't know where they need to be, what the address is, what was said, if you look at that little I button on there, you can pass over notes from your call center. All right. If they say, hey, you need to be at this house by this time because they're taking off work, don't be late, exclamation point. Homeowner was in the military. Punctuality is everything. Be 5 minutes early. Or if they say, don't open the gate because the dog's going to kill you. All of that stuff is super important when you go in the home. All of that is ammunition for selling. You can pass all that stuff seamlessly over. We have a bunch of different integrations with CRM platforms as well as an open API if you built your own. All right. If you don't use one, we also can use shared calendars like Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, etc. The other thing you got to look at is resources. All right. Paul was talking about this, sustainability. He is a tree hugger, appreciates this. If you have 1,000,001 printed out leaflets or brochures or whatever it might be, A, you're awkward as hell when you walk into a home carrying a small library, but B, that is by definition not sustainable. All right? You're basically deforesting to appease your sales process. All right? This gives you the opportunity to have all of these in a really nice, organized fashion. You can organize it the same way you organize your desktop on your computer. That way, when you bring on new reps, it's really easily trainable, really clean, concise, repeatable processes, and it looks really freaking impressive when you flip through one of these brochures in high def on a retina display on an iPad. It looks fantastic. You can also pull in things like Eagle View and Hover, which you'll see on this next slide. Paul talked a little bit about roofing and other sustainable products. Guess what? If you're using roofing and siding, or if you're selling those products, same thing with windows. Hover, Eagle View, you can pull in those purchased reports. As well, too, on the Hover end, you can also access their design portal. It's all fully integrated within Leap. So as long as you have that access to those, great. You can pull those directly in, and you can have them automatically populate any one of your estimates. All right, you don't even need that rep to go on the roof or pull out a tape measure and start measuring the side of a house. You can upload it in about 2 seconds, showing them the capability of technology and using that as a tool for education. As you go through, now we talk a little bit about financing, all right? In that estimate and in that sales process, the best of the best companies out there are the ones who sell financing as a product. It's a hell of a lot easier for me to say, hey, Paul, let's put a roof on your house. It's only going to be about $350 a month. Can you afford that? Rather than, hey, Paul, let's put a roof on your house. It's going to cost you $30,000. Which one's scarier? The latter, all right? It's also a way for you to see all the impact as that sales rep to your business. On the left-hand side, you can take every single one of the financing options that are available for a loan at that amount. On the right-hand side, you can take both of these numbers. The red number is going to be your merchant fee. So Leap can automatically help you calculate that merchant fee based on the loan amount. It can also give you the estimated monthly payment for that homeowner. So I know if I need to get this thing under $300, cool, I can do that. But it's going to be a 9.9 for 10 years, and it's going to cost the company about $225. While that might seem nominal, you multiply that by 1,000 jobs a year, that's a lot of money. So you want to make sure that you also can account for that in the bottom line of your job so the rep knows what they need to negotiate. Leap can do all that for you, giving that business owner those safeguards to ensure their margins aren't being destroyed. All right. You can also take that information that you do in your estimates and you can have it automatically populate into our dividend integration, which is going to say, hey, if you're going to be lending and it's going to be this amount, cool. Every bit of data that we need in order to apply for that loan can pull directly into this portal. All right. It's also giving you the ability for that real-time on-site credit decision. All I got to do is click on this. It'll pull me directly into my dividend application. And at this point, their name, address, phone, email, all of that's pre-populated. The only thing you need to do is get those very clear, or I guess pertinent info, like their social, maybe some other little key details, but everything else can be pulled directly into this. All right. As I go through and I hit next, I can get, like I said, an instant on-site credit decision. And Paul, to your point earlier when we talked, it doesn't impact your credit score on site, correct?
Yeah, we do a soft credit check, so it doesn't affect the credit score. It's an anonymous pull. It's just like those little flyers you get in the mail, but we do a soft credit check, so it doesn't affect the homeowners, which they really, really appreciate.
Yep. The other beauty of this, too, is those reps know exactly where they stand in the home. If that's a hard denial, you might need to go a different route. You might need to start adjusting that estimate, et cetera. You leave that home and you don't have that yay or nay on financing, just opens up a world of opportunity for that person to back out. The other thing that's really neat about this, we actually ran a webinar on in-home financing earlier in the year. If you didn't see it, it's on our YouTube channel. You should probably check it out. A really big company in the Virginia area. You guys can watch the webinar to get all the details of it. They started offering financing in-home with real-time credit decisions probably back in, I think it was March is when they started. Within 2 months, they saw their average ticket price go up about $1,600. They started increasing their retention by 13 percentage points, not 13%, 13 percentage points. And then from there, it was just that much easier to close for their reps. They saw their closing percentages go up. So when you talk about the power of in-home financing like this or in-home decisions, massively important. The money is there. Moving on, you can take that all the way through your contracts. So as you see on the previous screen, you see all the other consent forms, et cetera, that are automatically linked to this. All of that can then be pulled into a signed, secured contract that's clearly defined as your business, your watermark. All of these are custom built when you onboard with Leap. You can even integrate with DocuSign, where that signature you see, that's Leap. But if that person's like, you know what, my significant other isn't home, but I want to go ahead with this, I just need to make sure that they review it, or we both need to sign it, cool. Convert it into a DocuSign, have them be able to sign it remotely. From there, anything that you do in Leap can also be pushed back to your CRM, including what financing options they used, par amounts, the total sale amount, dispositions, all that other good stuff. You can even go back and create commission calculations so that that rep looks and sees, hey, if everything goes well and I sell this job, I'm getting $2,000 in my pocket. Booyah. All right. Lots of really neat integrations exist. The other thing that's kind of fun on this, we don't really actively put out, it's on our websites, etc. You can also integrate this with a chat functionality called GroupMe. All right. The second this sales rep closes this job, it can blast a note to all the other sales reps in the organization on their phone to say, hey, James just sold a $29,000 job and made $2,000. What are you doing? That way it incites that competitive atmosphere. It's really a good function, especially when it comes to sales teams that like to battle each other, which if they're not battling each other, they're probably not good salespeople. Anyway, last little bit too. When you're done with any one of these jobs, you also get a clear, concise digital summary of everything that was purchased. Some of our companies even will take this all the way down to as descriptive as the SKU number. These can all be customized too. So if you're outsourcing or if you're using a sub to install, you can remove the prices so that they can't see exactly what it's costing you. And at the end of this, I'm a data nerd. Anytime somebody uses Leap, there's a timestamp and an activity that's logged every time one of your sales reps touches the iPad. So throughout the entire 2 to 3 hour presentation that you'll typically have in a home, there's hundreds of data points to show you exactly what they did behind closed doors. We also did a webinar on this last week. Hugely powerful. Shows you that if you want to know what goes on behind closed doors and you don't want to stand 2 feet behind that rep in a shadowing environment, making it really nice and weird for that homeowner and probably making it so that that person's on their best behavior as a sales rep, guess what? You can have full insights to what they're doing and why. That way you want to know where you need to train, boom, there you go. I love this in the comment section too that Eric said, we live and die by leap. Don't die, but you can live by it. I like that. I like that. So high five, Eric. Appreciate that. T-shirt coming your way. All right, moving on. Let's talk about next steps in Q&A. There's a couple things that are queued up in here. Ask us questions. You want to know a little bit more about what's offered from Dividend? Throw it in the question section. You have technical questions about the integration? Bring it on. That's why I'm here. If there's any other things that you need to know, feel free to drop those in those question sections. So first question I have, Paul, and this one's going to be going toward you, is does Dividend offer stage funding?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I know in one of the earlier slides you had mentioned that you can have those periodic disbursements to help with cash flows. Are there any requirements that go into that, or is that something that you look at on a case-by-case?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in general, we do have basic requirements. We do want to see, especially since we're forwarding cash, we do want to see some history of operation. We like to see, at least $1 million in previous year in revenue. And then we do have, and that's the 20/80 terms. We do 50/50 terms, which do require one additional credit application with some references. But it's pretty easy. If you've been in operation and you got your financials there, we will definitely set you up with some stage funding. Great question.
Awesome. That one goes out to Nick. So Nick, hope that one answered your question. The next one in there, it says, how do dealer fees work? So I think there's probably two ways that we can answer this. This one goes out to Claire. On our end at Leap, I'll take my part first, and then Paul, I'll pass it on to you. So dealer fees, like I showed in the app, when you go into those finance calculators, what we can do is we can say, and typically there's a formula for calculating what that dealer fee is based on the loan that's being offered, the amount, all that other stuff. So in Leap, what we can do is we can give that rough estimate of what that dealer fee is going to be. There's a calculation that's built directly into Leap that says if I have a floor for my job, it's that point at which I cannot sell below that amount, otherwise I'm no longer making money. And if I'm not making money, what the hell am I doing? It basically takes that calculated merchant fee or that calculated dealer fee, and it adds it to that floor price when you select that lending option for that customer. That way, let's just say we have 2 reps in the field. One of those is Paul. Paul's really good at selling. He never sells anywhere near that floor price. Me, on the other hand, I suck at selling. I'm a new rep. I got really nervous in that home. I know that my MSRP is $35K, but my floor is 20. All right, that's a big window. However, I know that if I select a certain lending option for that person, it's a $1,000 dealer fee. And I'm not saying that's what it's going to be for Dividend, but let's just say hypothetically it was a $1,000 fee. What it'll do is if I select that option, my floor is no longer 20. It'll reflect as 21, so that me as a weaker sales rep, I know I cannot sell below that point. Otherwise, we're not making any money. So that's how it works within Leap. The other cool thing is you can artificially inflate that floor. So maybe the actual is 21, but me as an early rep, I now miraculously see 26. You can bake in whatever you want. There's a lot of really cool customizable features. And when you're showing this to a homeowner, if you're using that finance calculator slide like I showed a little bit earlier, you can also turn off the view that shows the dealer fees. That way I can flip the iPad around and say, here's your options. What monthly fee or what monthly payment would you prefer? So there are a lot of really cool things that you can do in that finance calculator. All of those can be populated with whatever loan options you personally carry, as well as working with the teams or Paul's teams to understand exactly what those merchant fees or dealer fees are going to look like and what that formula needs to be. So we can help you 100% with both. So Paul, on your end, I'm going to pass it over. How do they understand what those are, and what kind of programs do you run?
Yeah, so we've got a couple different options. We do have programs that don't have dealer fees, the rates are a little bit higher on that, but at least you can deal without having to deal with that merchant fee. And one of the things that we've done, with compared to, we did make some observations in the market that people use credit card fees. There's a lot of additional fees that get thrown into there. So what we did is we kept it real simple. It's one flat fee, and we do ACH deposits directly into the contractor's bank account. So it's literally next day we deposit in there. There's no additional fees. If you do choose the dealer fee option, which usually is, a lower rate or a promo price or something to that effect, that it's actually just going to be whatever that percentage is at any time. And so what we do with those fees is we take, if you do have stage funding, we don't front load that at all. We take an equal proportion out of each disbursement depending on which stage funding program you're on, or if you're on funding at all completion. But yeah, we do try to keep that super simple and only have that one fee. There's no additional merchant fees or anything else in that. So great question.
And Claire, I know you also sent for a rate sheet. What we'll do is after this, I'll have, or Paul will have a member of his team reach out directly to you, and they can walk you through what your rates would be and basically bring you up to speed on what it would look like to be one of the or a dealer of theirs.
Yeah, we have a bunch of different options, and we can talk about that.
Perfect. And then another question for you, and this one's from Dan, Paul, is do you have a minimum credit score that you service?
We do actually have a minimum credit score, and that's 660. We keep that pretty static. Other things that we look at is total debt to income. We do look at charge-offs, but our floor on the FICO at this point, we are looking at some subprime options, but right now we go down to 660.
Yeah, here's the one thing I will say, you guys.
Yep, go ahead.
Go ahead, Paul. No, finish.
The max total debt to income is 55%.
Yep. So if you guys are interested in having a subprime option, the coolest thing is if Dividend's your primary, which is an awesome option, the data that you fill out within the Dividend application can waterfall if you need a subprime within the LEAP offering. So we do have some other partners on the subprime level that don't compete directly with Dividend. We're happy to make those introductions, but the cool thing is what you collect as the primary lender can then waterfall into that other application.
And another great thing to your point, James, on the soft credit check, the great thing about leading with Dividend, it is a soft credit check. If you go with some of the other lenders and you pulled that credit, then it does get knocked, depending on their credit, anywhere from 2 to maybe 10 points. So it's good to kind of lead with that, because then if you go with another option, you haven't kind of maybe knocked yourself from the 665 to the 658, and then all of a sudden you've disqualified for the Dividend. So it's a noteworthy point, and glad you guys do have that part.
Totally. And one of the neat things too, you guys, is in the selling process, if it is a no risk with that soft credit pull, it just strengthens the pitch for any one of your sales reps going out into the field. At that point, it's, hey, we do a soft pull anyway. It's not going to hurt you. So if you're considering writing a check for this, or you're considering financing, we might as well see if we can get you approved for financing, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen at the end of the day? It doesn't impact your score. Oh, and by the way, if you really don't like the terms, great, write a check. It makes it really seamless, but oftentimes what you'll find is that when people have the option not to take the cash out of their savings, they're gonna take the financing as an option. So let's see if we have any others in here. Looks like we have a couple new LEAP users. Awesome, high five. So everybody knows what we're going to be doing when it comes to rolling this out and making this available for LEAP users. The go live on this is going to be, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, it's going to be the 11th of this month. So we're doing this a little bit early to give you guys an understanding of what that looks like. But if anyone wants to come on board with this program and they already actively use LEAP, we'll go to the next screen, which is going to be next steps. Paul, tell us how somebody can come on board with Dividend.
Well, this is a super easy process. The great thing about leveraging with technology gurus like James and the Leap team is we make this process super easy. We want to make it fast and painless, get you on board. All you need to do is click on this link. What it'll do is it'll route it to someone in your territory. Like I said, we have very dedicated sales reps. We have 3 main regional sales directors, and then we'll put that person in, get their name on, and follow up with you for the onboarding requirements, which, are, like I said, pretty basic. We can actually go through that, but in general, we want to see that you have a business license. We want to see that you got some insurance there and, some operating history. But other than that, super simple. You click on that link to the left that he shows you, especially if you're already a Leap partner, and then we'll get you in the queue and then get you a call that day.
Wonderful. And then in terms of Leap, if you guys are active dividend users and you're not familiar with who Leap is, again, it's doing your business a disservice if you don't take a look at the product end to end. Go to our website, leaptodigital.com/dividend finance. One of my reps as well will be able to give you the full detailed run through. If you already actively use Leap and you want to add Dividend or with the lending integration that we built, it's going to go live on the 11th. Just reach out to us. You can always just give us an email at info@leaptodigital.com. Say, I want the Dividend integration. Feel free to put a GIF because it makes us laugh, or some sort of funny photo. It's always going to make it that much more entertaining for us. But we're happy to get you guys plugged in whenever you want. Again, that's going to go live on the 11th. So if anyone has any questions of that, August 11th, 2019, game on, plug it in, get rocking. Last thing on here, Paul, we actually got one more question at the buzzer. Eric asks, what's the time frame on rolling out some sort of deferred payments program?
That is we're actively, in fact, we're in San Diego meeting on the actual rollout of those, and I should have that here within the next few weeks, but obviously we're focusing on kind of the end of this year, so hopefully Q3, Q4, and with that, I'm assuming you're referring to kind of the 12-month, the 18-month, and the 24, either no interest and or no payment promo programs. We do have a 90-day deferred, which especially works well in some of the areas. I heard Florida's changing some of the rules on payments to contractors. So we do have the 90-day deferred that's coming in a few weeks here.
Nice. And he actually just clarified it's the 6-month no-no.
Yeah, those are the first ones that we're working on. I think right now we're looking at 6, 12, and 18 to start.
Perfect. And Eric, we'll reach out if you want to be a guinea pig. Next, the last question, sorry, we got one more that just jumped in too. Do you have a 0% finance, and what is the term?
When you say 0%, like a no interest loan, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, which I think is also what you just finished alluding toward.
Yeah, that's the one on the 6, the 12, and the 18 that we're looking to roll out, and I'll have some more details on the exact time of that rollout. But like I said, we're pushing for hopefully this quarter, if not the next quarter.
Perfect. And Michael, that was your question. I'll have Paul and his team reach out directly to you guys. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody. If there's no more questions, looks like we're good. Again, Paul, thank you so much for joining. I know you've had quite the road trip this week and last. This has been a long time coming, you guys. Again, as Paul mentioned, this has been like a 10, 11-month conversation. We're extremely excited to have these guys join as a partner of Leap officially. The integration will be going live on the 11th of this month. If anyone is actively looking to join either party, you can see on here on the left-hand side for Dividend, go to it's http://go.dividendnow.com/leap2dividend. If you're interested on the Leap side, if somebody's just listening to the audio, it's leaptodigital.com/dividend finance. Thank you guys so much for joining. Paul, high five digitally over the airways. And thank you all for joining. We're really pumped on this. Game on. This is uploaded to our YouTube page. Feel free to follow us on Facebook as well, LinkedIn, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want a lot more of these goodies sprinkled in. So the next webinar that we're going to be doing with the Dividend folks, just to give you guys a little bit of a teaser, in the next couple months, we're actually going to bring on a power user of both Dividend and Leap, show you guys some of the best practices, and show you a little bit of a case study of what this has done in the field. So we're really fired up about that one. Stay tuned. That'll be teased in the next couple weeks and months. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, you guys. We'll talk soon.
Thanks.